What's up, guys? Forgot my microphone today. I apologize. I'm looking a little rough. It's because it's 6:45 a.m. We're out here at the track, local high school track. I'm gonna do a split session today. I don't consider it like a double session. It's just one session split up into two. So essentially, we're gonna start off with some resisted sprints with the tire. So lighter today, only 25 pounds total resistance. Last time we did them, it was 50 pounds. I don't know. We'll probably see if we can get around 8 to 10 reps of 30 meters. Really focusing on speed. I might even do it from a 3-point start today. We'll see. Then it's off to work. Gonna work a full work day. Just renovating a basement right now with my contractor friend. And yeah, after that, then it's going to be the upper body session in the gym where we're going to go for that super heavy 1 rep max incline press. Let's see what we can get. Last week we got 205 for a pretty comfortable single, in my opinion. So if we can get like 210 or above today, I'll be very happy with that. All right, guys. So it looks like I'm a dummy. I know. Big shock, right? But my microphone was in my bag the whole time, fully charged, so looks like I was more prepared than I thought. Starting off the day with a big W. Okay, guys, pro tip for the day. The warm-up is not just to prepare yourself mentally, physically, and spiritually, if you want to call it that. The warm-up is also used as a diagnostic tool to assess the body and how it's feeling, assess if you're feeling good, assess what parts of the body are not feeling good. Kind of like when you send your car into the mechanic, okay, you're running, you're like, I don't know about that, that's making a noise, this is this. So what I noticed today in the warm-up was that my left posterior shoulder was painful. It was really sharply painful when I stretched it across, and then my right shin was kind of sore. So we were talking about the right shin last time I did a 400 meter. So I have to be careful with that when I'm doing the sprints today. And then when I go into the gym later to do my upper body session, I have to be conscious, and at work today, of my left shoulder, whether I need to do some more work, some exercises to warm it up, or whether I have to decide if I have to adjust my session today and not go for a PB on the incline press. I think I'll be able to do that, but I know for sure when I'm doing the chin-ups today, I can't go heavy on the weighted chin-ups. I'm gonna have to scale back, maybe do like chin-up with like a 10-second lower for each rep, but that's just something you have to use the warm-up for. It's not just to prepare yourself for training, it's also a tool to assess how the body's feeling on the day. First 2 reps will be kind of like a warm-up. Let's do a standing start here. Okay, shorter steps, foot down. If you watched my previous video, I know I said, you know, if you have the sled, if you could do like a shuttle style or leave the sled there and then run it back for the next rep. But today it's only 25 pounds, it's only 30 meters, so I just walked it back. And remember, guys, none of these things in training are set in stone rules. It's not like the 10 commandments written on stone, it cannot be changed. They are guidelines, and you have to be smart and have to be willing to bend to the situations that allow. You know, maybe it's like, you know, you're reading the scientific papers and you're like, okay, the best way to, I don't know, let's say you're training for, like what wrestling. It's like, okay, you're gonna do your strength and conditioning after the session, but it's like, okay, so my wrestling practice is 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. and then I gotta go to school. So what am I gonna, the next day, so what am I gonna do? Do my strength training till like 10:30 p.m.? Like, no, man. You have to adjust. You can't always do the optimal thing. When you're in like a training camp setting where you don't have to worry about work, school, whatever, then yeah, you can do the optimal thing, but you have to adjust. Adjust. That's just a good lesson for life. That's just a good lesson for sport in general. There's guidelines, and you want to be within a certain parameter of the guidelines, but in training, there's more than one way to skin a cat. There's more than one way to make a world champion, an Olympic champion. So it's guidelines, not rules. All right, second rep here. I like that first rep. Try to maintain that lean. Keep pushing behind you. Fast feet, fast feet. Nice. When I went to university, I just want to be clear here, I did not finish my degree. I did about 5 semesters. Anyways, I loved university, but there were some particular life circumstances that caused me to leave. But it is what it is. I'll make a video about that later. But essentially, this is my approach to training. So I have, and competition excluded. So when I am making the plan, doing the research, that is like I'm gonna pretend it's like biology. I like biology. That was one of my favorite subjects in university in particular. So the program design, the research, that is like the in-class person, like I'm studying or I'm reading the text, I'm learning from the professor, okay? Then when I go to execute the training, that is me doing a lab. Okay, so we control the variables, right? We do this. Okay, this is what the goal is for this. This is what my hypothesis is. And then when I'm doing the exercises, that's where I'm recording the data. I need to record, so I have my data. And then when I go back to the program, or go back afterwards at the end of the week or later that day, I'm like, okay, what happened? Blah, 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 this happened, this, did it do what I thought it would do? Or I have to maybe wait to see. And then I include lab errors. That's like what went wrong. What do I think could have adjusted this? Oh, it was rainy today. Oh, it was this. Oh, I didn't get a good sleep. I didn't eat enough. I ate too much. It was too hot out. It was too cold out. Conditions were perfect, but I didn't get the results I wanted. So that's my approach to how I see my training system. All right, so anyone who's been around me in training or competition knows I've always kept a logbook. Yeah, I don't use my phone, I'm old school, because I find it so hard to make little notes and or draw little illustrations on my phone. Like, I don't use any apps or anything like that. I don't think you need it. Well, I mean, if it's easier for you, use your phone, I don't care. But when I was in university, I was doing track and field. Mostly jumps, like long jump, triple jump, pole vault. But one thing the head coach at the time, he required everyone to do a weekly training log. Even if it was the workout he gave you, he expected you to put it in there and like maybe a brief synopsis of how the week went. Just like I was talking about with the lab reports. Like, I don't want to say like style, like it was super formal, but it should say the dates, it should say this. And he was serious about it. And you're kind of like, oh my God, this is like another subject. You're in university, like, I already have so much on my plate, but it did keep you accountable. And if you didn't hand it in, he didn't even sign you up for meets. Like there were people on our track and field team who were really good. Like were very, they were like high school heroes. And you know, I think they got a little complacent. Like, I just do it, like whatever, I'm not handing in that, I'm so busy. And you'd go to like the bus and people would be coming onto the bus and he just wouldn't say anything. He's like, okay. And then someone would walk to the bus and be like, oh, I'm gonna stop you there. You're actually not coming today. And you're like, what the hell? Coach, blah, 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 I'm so there. Blah, blah. You didn't hand in any of your weekly training reports. We put out, like, you never told me this. I'm like, you never told me why you weren't handing them in. And honestly, I respect that. Like that was a requirement to be on the team, and it kept me accountable. And that is where I started to get into the habit of recording my training. In high school, I never recorded my training or anything like that. Maybe if I got like a personal best or had like a record I was shooting for, I put a little sticky note on my door. And then before I know it, my door is covered with sticky notes. It was just stupid. So then I started experimenting with different ways to record my stuff. And I used the notebook because at the time I was doing emails, I didn't even have like a phone with data on it or anything. Like I had such a basic like flip phone. Like, I don't know, I was super late to the phone game. Like I only got a phone when I got a job when I was 16. But I didn't like I didn't like doing it via email because I'm like, oh, I forget to do it. I forget what went on. So I'm like, I'm just going to do this in my book, and I'm just going to like record it by the week, and then I'll just show it to the coach on Monday. He'll sign it, check it off that I did it. But yeah, he was cool with that. But that's where I really started to understand the importance of recording your training. All right, we're 4 reps deep now. I feel pretty good, actually. I'm gonna try to do, let's say, the next 4 from a 3-point stance. One hand down. I don't remember being very good at this, probably because I didn't do like much actual racing. Like I did some hurdles in high school, and I ran like the 3rd leg in the relay, but let's just say like from the starting position is not my strongest suit. But yeah, I'll do 4 reps. And I like to alternate like left and right. Like I'm not training for a specific race. If I was a sprinter, I'd probably just keep my front leg the same every rep. When I was younger, I used to always start with my left leg forward, and I don't know what happened. After I got into weightlifting, you know, like, and I was doing the split jerk, you know, I would even split jerk with my left leg, and then one day, I don't know, I just wasn't feeling right, so I'm like warming up, I'm like, I'm gonna do the split jerk the other way, I'm gonna go right leg forward, and it worked really well, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna keep it like this. And then once I started doing that, I felt more comfortable with my right leg forwards for starting a race or any run, so that's my dominant side now, I guess. Side first, as it's the projected worse side. Okay. Some pressure on the back foot. Stay low. Next pro tip, learn from what your body has told you in the training. You and your coach have to know yourself. When I was coaching gymnastics, we used to have these meetings sometimes, and like parent meetings. We would have them right at the beginning of the year. And I don't know, I think a group meeting is good at the beginning of the year, but individual meetings I think are not really cool unless you're like a high performance, like more mature athlete, junior or senior level, and you're like national level or higher. But sometimes like their head coach would be like, all right, you're gonna do these meetings, and like I'd have 6-year-old, 7-year-old, 8-year-old boys, and I've only known them for a month, and I'm supposed to tell their parents, I'm like, I don't know anything about them, bro. Like, you need time to learn about your athletes. I'd say like, it would take at least a full year to kind of understand the mannerisms, the psychology of your athletes, and understand what you need to say to each athlete to get the results you're both looking for. And then also the physical restraints, like sometimes I'm like, wow, that guy can handle a lot of workload, but he can't go with higher intensities, but he can motor, he recovers between sets fast. This guy is a very quick twitch athlete, he's very explosive, but he needs more recovery. Like gymnastics is horrible. They're like, more reps, more repetition, go, go, go. And like, oh, he's good, but he's lazy. It's like, I don't know if he's lazy. I think his body just performs at higher speeds than the other athlete. Maybe he's not so lazy, but yeah, he's a hard worker, but he can do that because he can't perform at such a high gear. Whereas the other guy, he performs at such a high gear, but he needs more recovery. You have to adjust. That's coaching, guys. But that's one big gripe I have with gymnastics coaching. But for me, for example, I know I don't need a lot of work for my cardiovascular system to improve quickly. Like I already feel from last Friday, doing a 400 meter rep and a 200 meter rep, I already feel the cardiovascular benefits. Like I feel like my heart rate lowers a lot quicker. I've even tracked it, it is. And then I can feel between reps, like I'm catching my breath easier. My endurance is just already better from those 2 reps, 400 meter and 200 meter. So you gotta learn. You gotta learn how your body reacts to the training. Next pro tip. Know why you're doing the exercise. I see a lot of athletes do something just because it's hard. Just because something is hard doesn't make you better at sport. Okay? Folding laundry for 8 hours is hard. It's not gonna get me better at playing table tennis. Okay? Shoveling a hole. I've done a lot of digging holes. Shoveling a hole. Digging holes by hand. It's hard. Digging a 6-foot hole. It's not direct, yeah, maybe you'll get some fitness from it, but it's not directly going to make me a better wrestler. Like, I can't be like, you're just gonna dig holes, you're not gonna wrestle, this is how you, like, I'm just gonna get better at digging holes. There might be some spillover, but in wrestling, for example, I see like, yo, I'm doing sprints, I'm just gonna do sprints until I puke or do this, and you're like, I'm training speed. I'm like, no, you're not. You're training endurance. If it was true speed, you have to be totally recovered. Totally recovered. You're not trying to build mental toughness when you're training speed. You're trying to train speed. If you're like, okay, I'm building mental resilience, and there is definitely some mental toughness to endurance work. I think endurance athletes are some of the most mentally strong individuals on the planet. And that's one of the key attributes. And honestly, pure speed athletes and power athletes are some of the laziest athletes on the planet. It is what it is. And I had to learn to be lazier, but my coach, Steve Sander, would call it, you're being strategically lazy because you need to recover. But when you go, it has to be 100%. Because if you just go, like do a half-ass rep, then no, it's not speed training. So you have to know the reason why you're doing the exercise. What is the purpose? What are we trying to get out of it? Are we practicing the qualities that we want? Okay, so what I believe to be my biggest weakness right now in sprinting is my ankle stiffness. Most people, their ankles are pretty stiff. They don't have very good ankle mobility. Fortunately, or unfortunately for me, my ankle mobility is pretty freaking good. I've always been able to feet together, heels flat, squat down. Everyone in my family can do this. You know, Slav squat. We have very, very flexible ankles, which is good for some things. It's good for getting deep position in the squat. It's good for wrestling, I find, because I can get low and I have no stability issues. But in sprinting, it doesn't really help. And the reason that is because it's kind of like tires on a car. If you want like your car to go really, really fast, you need very inflated tires. If your tire is soft, it's more surface area. It doesn't spring back. It's a soft spring, right? It doesn't push back as hard. A tight spring, you put force into it, it pushes back extremely hard. So in my training program, that's why you've seen me do a lot of the standing calf, single leg iso holds, because I need to try to train to build stiffer ankle or stronger ankle in that position. That is something I'm definitely working on in my training program. A little Kohei Uchimura for you. Let's see what we got on the right side. Well, this feels good. This feels strong. One more time. Shoulder's killing me. Hope I can still do this. Let's hope this guy doesn't fly off of me. Ooh, not the best. There we go, better. All right, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that backflip. I don't think I've backflipped in months. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Please like, comment, subscribe. And I don't know, that's it for now. Peace.